Emily, thank you for joining us today for our Hub Creative Talks interview series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Emily Ryder, and I'm a Mississauga-based filmmaker. I write and direct mainly short films, and I also work as a production coordinator in unscripted television.
Let's kind of get into what kind of stories you're telling in your filmmaking. Queer becoming, womanhood, and the complexity of intergenerational relationships. Why do these topics specifically resonate with you?
I feel like any artist, like in any form, is always trying to find ways to untangle themselves in their art, and for me that's on screen and in the stories I tell, and specifically like queerness and womanhood and just the messiness of intergenerational relationships are really what have defined my life so far. And so I guess it's just me figuring myself out, and I always am drawn to those themes because they have played such a big part in shaping me.
I want to talk about, you've had a couple recent films come out. One for 2020, one received a Filmmaker grant, right? It's for Alfie, so that received quite a bit of recognition. Can you tell us more about this film and the process of making it for you?
Yeah, so Alfie is a 12-minute queer coming-of-age story set in late 1960s Montreal. It's based on a combination of some family history and stories as well as my own experience, kind of coming to terms with my identity. In terms of the actual production, we shot it from January, a bit of January and a bit of March 2021. So that was right in the middle of a big wave we were having in Ontario with COVID. That was before vaccines were really easily accessible to most people. So that was a huge challenge with production, just making sure that our cast and crew were safe. On a personal note, it was also a challenging film just because it really forced me to kind of reckon with myself, which I think every project does for every artist, but it was also rewarding because I had the chance to explore my own relationship to the story, and in turn the story evolves as my relationship to the story evolved. It was actually a really beautiful process, and in the end my cast and crew and I made a project we're very proud of, and we've been able to share it with audiences all across North America. We've had a nice little festival run so far, so it's been really nice.
Is there a favorite moment you have from making that film?
Right before we started shooting, my producer and I were just kind of giving each other a pep talk that we had been dealing with so many hurdles, just production-wise because of COVID. And we were working with children, and it was an ambitious project for, young filmmakers to tackle. And we were texting each other, and she said, if we can do this, we can do anything. And we just kept reminding ourselves that throughout the process, and it actually got kind of almost insane how big the hurdles continued to get. We thought we were dealing with hard stuff then, and then just locations canceling on us last minute and needing to pull from all of our all of our family, friends, everyone to kind of pull together to make it. And it was really stressful in the moment, but I think it was really nice. It's nice to look back on and admire the tenacity of 2021 Emily for pushing through.
Yeah, so it's really a collaborative process, really, right?
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We have another new short film titled Mothering, which is also being supported by another Filmmaker grant. Can you tell us more about this film in particular?
Yeah. So Mothering, I'm so excited and grateful to receive support from MAC again. It's another short film, and it's, I guess in a sentence, meditation on the imperfect ways that we carry the weight of traumatic experiences while also having to care for the people that are responsible for that trauma. It's very personal, and I'm very nervous, but also very excited to see it through and get it out in the world as well.
You also received a 2022 Marty Award for Immersion Video Arts. What was that experience like for you?
It was so amazing. I grew up in Mississauga as well, and I was kind of reflecting back on what the city means to me as an artist, because growing up, I felt so supported in kind of every corner when it came to arts, not just like with my family, but with my school and with different kind of city programs. All through elementary school, I took visual art classes at Riverwood, and I took like cartoon class and I took painting, and they had general art camps. And in school, my teachers were really like supportive of, made sure that all the students got involved in the arts. So, and I also took music lessons at, I think it was called Mississauga Music School or Creative Music School. I took piano classes, and I don't do any of that stuff now. I'm not a pianist, I'm not a cartoonist, but I feel so grateful that as a kid, there were these opportunities. Like I had an interest in arts in some way, and I was able to explore that. So I guess long story short, it meant a lot, now that I'm an adult and I am an artist as well, to be recognized back by the city.
What would you say is maybe like the most important piece of advice you could give?
I would say, firstly, like as a very practical piece of advice, is just to watch a lot of movies. Expose yourself to cinema that you might not get exposed to otherwise. Go watch international films, watch short films, especially if you want to make short films, because it's a really different medium to feature films, and you can kind of hit a lot of roadblocks when you're trying to fit a feature idea into a short film. So when you get to understand the form by just becoming more literate, just like if you want to write a book, you want to read similar kind of books, right? If you want to paint a painting, you would go look at that similar kind of style at galleries, study it. Other piece of advice, which I think is more maybe interpersonal, is to never forget, to prioritize empathy in the films that you're making, and also the process. It can be really easy to fall into habits when you're making your own films and kind of trying to emulate what you think filmmaking should be based on how the industry is, which is very militaristic. It's very patriarchal, it's very hierarchical, it's very demanding. And just to remind filmmakers that when they're making their own project, they can set their own rules. They don't need to kind of do something because they think they have to. They can have shorter days, if it's better for crew mental health and well-being. Like, you don't need to run a 12-hour workday. Run a 6-8-hour day, Find ways that work for you to make the film, and don't forget the people that are involved. I guess that's the piece I'm trying to say. Like, you don't need to just imitate the industry, because I think the industry doesn't usually care about the people making it. And if you put your people first, I think your film will turn out better, because everyone will feel cared for, and then they'll put their best selves into the project. And like you said, film is so collaborative, it's so paramount that the people making it at every level feel that they're, valued and respected.
Do you have any other upcoming projects you want to mention?
Apart from Mothering, I don't have any projects that I'm writing and directing. I am producing a short film that's set to shoot in September for my friend Evelyn. We're going to be shooting that actually up in Nipissing. So that'll be really nice in the fall to kind of be up there and take in nature, go by the lake. I'm very excited for it, and I think it's going to be a really, really great story.
Where can people find you? Do you have a website, social media channels?
Yeah, you can find my work online at emilyryder.ca. I also have social media where I often post my work. On Instagram, I'm at EMVRyder, RYDER, and Twitter, I'm Emily V. Ryder. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was fun.